What's up guys, James here and welcome back to another Carnivores video on the channel. In today's episode of Carnivores Mysteries, I'll be talking about one of the most commonly requested topics on here, the myth of a Seismosaurus and Brachiosaurus existing within the first Carnivores game. As it stands, the biggest urban legend pertaining to the Carnivores franchise is that of the Delphius Hills ghoul, supposedly an extremely rare cryptid of sorts that inhabits the island of Delphius Hills in Carnivores 2. But for over 20 years, the most well-known Carnivores legend was that a Seismosaurus and Brachiosaurus exist as hidden dinosaurs within the first game. As the legend usually goes, both the Seismosaurus and Brachiosaurus are secret huntable dinosaurs in Carnivores that can only be unlocked after reaching 1000 points in game. The two can only be killed by an expo, with the Brachiosaurus' weak zone being its rear and the Seismosaurus' being its eye, which is apparently a seventh the size of a Tyrannosaurus' eye. I'm not 100% sure on the origin of the rumor, but I've done some digging around on the internet and the Carnivores Saga Discord, and I think I managed to get pretty close. I found a good number of old websites that reference both dinosaurs. Regarding points needed to unlock them, the Carnivores Gamepedia cites a 2010 post on supercheats.com where it said that 2 new dinosaurs are unlocked after reaching 10,000 points. We can assume that these are the Seismosaurus and Brachiosaurus, though most other websites do claim it's only 1,000 points. The Carnivores Wiki also links to some other old websites with info on the 2 dinosaurs. Cheatback.de is a website that lists out cheats for video games and dates back as far as 1998. There's a page on the website dedicated to Carnivores cheats, and sometime between 2008 and 2012, the Seismosaurus and Brachiosaurus were added to the list. Here, it's claimed that while the Seismosaurus' target zone is its eye, the Brachiosaurus is actually its rear. It's also said that after releasing a Seismosaurus to run quickly to the nearest anti-carnivore mountain. I'm not sure if this is a tip in general for when you kill a dinosaur, or if it somehow implies that the Seismosaurus' corpse attracts carnivores. I think it's actually the latter, as none of the other dinosaurs on the page have this piece of info attached to them. Okay, so this puts the origin of the myth back to 2008 at the least. While those exact same notes from Cheatback.de weren't actually made on that website, and can also be seen on another website, Game World Network. Here, the notes about hunting the 2 dinosaurs actually date back to 2002, putting that as the farthest back. Carnivores came out in 1998, and it looks like the harder I look, the farther back this rumor dates to. I read over the Brachiosaurus' Gamepedia page, and the trivia section for it claims that an early sales brochure for Carnivores listed Brachiosaurus as a secret unlockable animal, along with a rocket launcher and a training level. While I've looked around a bit, I haven't been able to find the brochure in question. If this brochure is real, then it actually is very intriguing, as not only would it give more credit to the legend, but it would also give us more information about the rocket launcher and this unseen training level. This brochure would also basically confirm the origin of the Brachiosaurus myth, if it is real. But there's still some more digging to be done on where the Seismosaurus comes from and other parts of the legend, like the supposed target zones and needing an expo. At this point, I thought I was out of luck in terms of looking for information over Google, but luckily some folks in the Carnivores Saga Discord had a discussion about this very topic back in February of this year, and the links provided are golden. Credit goes to Dinopunk and Jvirus for providing these links. The first is to the Carnivores Saga website on Freewebs from sometime around 2001. On the page talking about Carnivores 1, there's a section at the bottom titled Myths and Misconceptions, with the Brachiosaurus and Seismosaurus being the only entries. It's funny how even in 2001 they were known to not actually exist in the game. But the 2 entries still do provide interesting information on what people thought the dinosaurs were like in the game. Both are said to be huntable and expert level. As is usual, both can only be killed by an expo, and while the Brachiosaurus' target zone is at its rear, the Seismosaurus' target zone is its eye, which is 7 times smaller than that of a T-Rex. The Brachiosaurus has an unknown danger level, while the Seismosaurus is stated to be dangerous. Both are regarded as their own separate myths here. The Brachiosaurus myth apparently started before Carnivores was even released, and it's said that it's still regarded as a fact on many gaming websites. This was around 2001, mind you. The Seismosaurus is just said to be a related myth that's also floating around disguised as a fact. This Carnivores Saga website actually had an image for the Brachiosaurus and the Seismosaurus, but unfortunately the website is so old that those images have been lost to time. I'm fairly sure modding carnivores wasn't really a thing at the time, so I'm genuinely curious as to what images they used for both of those dinosaurs. Finally, I present to you guys the oldest traces on the internet for the Seismosaurus and Brachiosaurus that I currently have evidence for. Sometime between March 6th and October 21st of the year 2000, Stebo1387 wrote about hunting the Brachiosaurus and Seismosaurus on a GameWinners.com page talking about Carnivores cheats. Here, it's said that both can be unlocked for 1,000 points, and the usual target zones and hunting tactics are also mentioned. These are the same cheat notes that were later put onto the website's cheat book and Game World network that I mentioned earlier. This mention of the two dinosaurs from 2000 is the oldest that I currently know of. This Game Winners post might very well be the origin of the Seismosaurus and Brachiosaurus rumors. I definitely think it's where the Seismosaurus originated from. Around a month later on the GameTalk.com forums, players can be seen to have started asking around about the two dinosaurs. Many fell for the myth, reaching the 1,000 point goal but not being able to find them, and then asking around about it. Looks like they were fooled after all. Unfortunately, the Brachiosaurus and Seismosaurus don't actually exist within Carnivores 1. Players have searched the files extensively, but have come up empty-handed. Now, the Brachiosaurus did end up making it into Carnivores 2, but as an Ambience animal that can't be killed. With that, it seems like we've closed off today's Carnivores mystery. Well, maybe not after all. You see, there are two interesting things I glanced over earlier. The first is the lost brochure for Carnivores that supposedly mentions the Brachiosaurus to be included as a hidden huntable animal, as well as the rocket launcher and a training map. And as I recently said, on the old Carnivores Saga page for Carnivores 1, the Brachiosaurus myth is said to predate Carnivores' release. If these two pieces of information are related and are at all credible, it could mean that the myth for at least the Brachiosaurus isn't from 2000, but actually from a bit earlier, November 1998 at the latest. Jvirus also told me there's mentions of the brochure on the Game Talk forums, but I don't know of any pictures of it. As of right now, there really isn't much information to go off of that I know of, so I can't tell you much else. If I find any new evidence, I'll definitely present it in the future, because this is interesting. Okay, so two large sauropods rumored to be in Carnivores 1. Both said to be very hard to unlock, and both said to be dangerous and very hard to kill. Not the deepest thing in the world, but this was still intriguing and fun trying to pinpoint the origin of the myth. And as I showed you at the end there, the mystery is not over yet, as there's still the lost brochure out there that dates it back even farther. Maybe we'll see it again someday. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Honestly, I think I really owe it to all of you. For a while, I kinda just forgot that I actually had a YouTube channel I needed to attend to. If you've been paying attention, this is only the 7th video I've uploaded this year, and I've had lots of time to make videos. I've made lots of false promises, but my channel has grown to a size where I can't just sit back and wait out these huge intervals between videos. So I hope you guys can see now that I'm actually going to try uploading a lot more and get this channel back on track. I do have a couple larger videos in the works, but they're going to take a while, so I hope you guys are patient and that these shorter ones can satisfy in the meantime. Thank you to everyone for this amazing journey so far, and I'll see you on the next one.